Cody Story coming at ya. In this video today, I'm going to be talking about why I just quit my job after 9 months. Well, it's a trippy place to be in my life, but it's a good place to be. It's a very beautiful place to be, and it's full of abundance and gratitude. And it also comes with a lot of not knowing what's gonna happen next. And that's all good. I'm embracing it. Doesn't mean it always feels good, but guess what? It always gets better if I keep waking up one day at a time, applying myself to the best of my abilities and asking others for help along the way. This is where I'm at in my life, and I just want to continue to share what it's like basically starting my life over from scratch at 39 years old, almost to the 40. And I just want to first start off by saying, before I dive into the 3 main reasons why I just quit my job after 9 months is, I want to start with gratitude. I want to say how thankful I am for the job that I've just had for the past 9 months, how thankful I am that I was given the opportunity to be a part of that company. They're at a position right now where things are only going to continue to get better and better and better. So I wish the company I just worked for nothing but the best, and blessings on blessings on blessings. So where are we? What was I doing? My role has been, because I've wanted to explore the sales world and the sales career, it's been being a salesman 5-6 days a week, every week for the past 9 months. Now, I went from, in the beginning, I just wanted to, get my feet underneath me. So I was doing cold calling. Not the most fun thing on the planet, but I was able to go from cold calling, transition into taking inbound calls and be what they call a closer. Now, those are interesting words. I would phrase those words differently from my perspective, but let's just go with that. So I was a closer for a digital marketing company, and I was also in the chiropractic space because I felt like it was an easy transition going from the fitness world, where I've actually been impacted by a couple amazing chiropractors in my life that actually interpreted the science out there differently than any other chiropractor or doctor that I've ever come across in my life, and they've helped me in so many ways. One of which is to actually be able to be in my body and not be in pain 24/7 with the worst neck pain you could ever imagine, because that was a dark place for a very long time. But anyway, I wanted to transition into something I was familiar with, which was the chiropractic field. So helping chiropractic business owners create the advertising that they needed to generate leads, but then we also offered them an AI software service that took those leads and actually scheduled them for them. So they became patients on their schedule and then actually showed up in their practice. And then outside of that, we did also help them with some business coaching as far as the business model or the back-end systems. Now, it was a great job. I found a lot of value in it. I gained a ton of experience and insight into the sales world, because that's what I'm really trying to do, is investigate the sales world. And what I've noticed, before I get into the 3 main reasons why I quit, is in the sales world, there's this battle between old school sales and new school sales. And I've just currently, for the past couple months, come across another battle or war going on from my perspective in the sales world, which is sales versus negotiating. What I'm interested in is finding out what works for me and the people that I work with on an ongoing basis in a way that is empathetic, collaborative, and ethical. Whatever approach, method, or system allows me to really help people on a deeper level, that isn't taking advantage of people, isn't conning people, and isn't impacting them in a negative way. So anyway, the 3 main reasons why I decided to quit my job after 9 months. Number 1 is misalignment, which means what I actually know and what is true for me now that I've had this experience for the past 9 months is that I need to be working in a place that is in alignment with the way I view the world, with the way I want to help people, and I want to be selling products or services that are also in alignment with my beliefs and in alignment with my interests. Otherwise, it's just like showing up to work, clocking in and clocking out just to make $1. Now, of course, I got to get paid. The company's got to get paid. Everybody else that works in the company's got to get paid. That's fundamental. So, of course, we got to get paid so we can do those three things, which is to survive, provide, and thrive. If we don't have some sort of way of paying for our living because, we do it instead of trading and bartering. I mean, we can still trade and barter on some levels, but a lot of things in this world cost money in terms of just being able to live and provide for ourselves, which is food, water, shelter, clothing, the essentials. Then you can take it further than that. So yeah, of course, I got to get paid. But if I'm going to be working, whether it was me being a business owner or work for someone else, it's got to be fulfilling, and it has to be an alignment with what I'm interested in, because that's what's going to drive me. That's what's going to give me the motivation to go as far as I can, because I'm an all-in type of personality. I don't want to do anything half-ass. If I'm going to work for you, I'm going to kick some major ass. I'm all in. Let's go. But if I'm not interested in the services or the products or the company, the culture, the company's values, that's a misalignment. Now, there was a lot in alignment with this previous job, but as far as the products and services, there was a misalignment there. As far as the niche or the type of folks I was working with, personality-wise, there was a misalignment. I did my best, I went all in, but then I had to be honest with myself, apply awareness, and start to say, you know what? If I was to go further forward, I would be deceiving my boss. And that's not right for me. I got to do what's right. So the awareness gave me the ability to be honest with myself, and I was able to carry that out to my boss and have an honest conversation with my boss and say, look, I want to do something that I'm in alignment with and on as many different levels as possible. And there's a couple things that I've noticed 9 months in that there's a misalignment. And I need to actually be working for someone and for a company that I can have alignment with in these areas. And so it was a great conversation. He was able to hear me out. I was able to hear him out. But in my gut, I knew that I didn't want to deceive or mislead somebody if they're thinking that I'm all in and I'm 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Now, I pulled the plug also without having another job lined up, because I would rather take the risk of not making any money, not having a job, not knowing what's next, versus deceive or be dishonest or allow my soul to suffer or rot. That's how I view it. Now, there's other folks out there that say that's stupid, that's not intelligent, you should have a job before you quit. Guess what? I've never been that person. I'm more of a risk taker when it comes to stepping out into the unknown, as uncomfortable as that can be, because usually doing that, what comes with that, I would say, what comes with that is fear or worry, because we don't know what's next, or I don't know what's next. I try to keep these talks on me. I'm not here to tell you what to do. So anyway, moving along, now I've been given that gift, which is I know at the next job I need to be in alignment, not just on these levels, but also on these levels. And I need to be thorough in my research, and I need to be thorough in my conversations with any business owners or anybody who's involved with the hiring process in the next company that I'm looking to be involved with. So, number 2. So number 1 is misalignment or alignment. Number 2 is the phase of the company. So where is the company? Well, the reality is when I started, the company began going through a lot of changes, which change is fine. I'm all about that on the job. I'm all about that as far as being a business owner and growing and scaling. But I got to value my time, because if I don't, my soul rots. So I don't have the time for the phase that the company is going through, which is growing pains. Even though where they are right now, they're in a great position to really kick some major ass going forward. I just don't have the time to be involved if I'm not 100% in terms of alignment on these levels that were becoming very important to me. I don't have the time for them to go through what they need to go through as far as their growth and growing pains. I don't want to wait for that process to unfold. I don't want to wait for that process to take place because I don't have time to waste, all right? I ain't getting any younger is what I'm saying. So I need to be involved in a company that is at a different place, which to me is at a place where they've gone through a lot of these elementary growing pains and phases. They've already kind of weeded that out, and they're up here facing these other higher level challenges or changes. So I need to be involved in a company that's a bit more mature as far as their growth. Not as far as like personalities and stuff. They were very good to work with, the people that I got to work with. So I'm not saying they need to be more mature. The company needs to be more mature. So if it's a startup, that's cool, but we just can't be in these elementary growth phases. I don't have that kind of time for that stuff to get figured out and for that stuff to be worked out. I need to be here and going there, not down here trying to get to here, so to speak, if that makes any sense. All right, so the next is, because of these changes and growing pains that they were going through, it affected my ability to work full time. And when I signed up, I was under the impression that I was going to be able to do what I needed to do, which was to work full time. So my calendar was very inconsistent. I was supposed to be full-time, but it was more like having a month here and there where we would be up here, then we would drop, then we would be up here, then we would drop, then we'd be up. That kind of inconsistency isn't going to allow me to do the fundamental things I need to do, which is survive, provide, and thrive. I got to be able to do those things. So that wasn't allowing me to work full-time, which then affects my moolah, right? It affects my ability to do those things. I can't even pay for myself if that's what's taking place. Now that's fine to grow, it's fine to go through those phases, but it does impact all the employees, and having a 100% commission job with no base salary, which I'm not opposed to. I think it's great because it motivates sales folks to kick some butt on an ongoing basis. Which it's more like sink or swim. Right? It's all on you, which I don't mind that responsibility. But when you're going through these phases of growth, there is an impact, and I can't have that in my life if I'm 100% commission, okay? Now, when I signed on, I was totally cool, 100% commission, but having that much inconsistency really does not allow me to thrive and kick major ass on a daily basis for the company I'm working at. So, just to kind of recap here, alignment, the company in terms of where they are at with their growth, and then also the ability to produce a job that allows me to work full time. So those were the three major kickers. One little extra, let's call it 3.5, would be I was also selling advertising, and I wasn't making 100% commission on everything I was selling. So as far as the advertising, because the company didn't acquire that money, it was being paid to the advertising. I didn't get commission on that. However, I was selling that, and that was in the total sale. So that kind of ruffled my feathers. It was cool for a moment, but moving forward, like if I'm working my ass off, I expect to be paid for everything related to the total transaction. So every dollar that is spent on the behalf of the client or the customer, that was taking my energy to acquire, right? So if it's taking my energy and expertise to acquire that, I want to be paid for my time. And that's the crux of why I quit my job is I value my time, I value myself, and I value my growth. And if I'm unable to pay for myself, I'm unable to pay for my growth, and the only way I become more valuable to other people is if I continue to grow. And investing in myself is very, very important, and that costs moolah, that costs dinero, that costs money. Just like the course I'm taking right now with Chris Voss, that wasn't free, that costs a lot of money. So if I want to do things the way I do things, which is I'm always focused on how can I get better today, which then makes me better tomorrow, and then tomorrow shows up. How can I get better in that day, and how can I get better for the next day, yada, 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 yada. There's a snowball effect because I don't want to stay on the surface. I want to go deeper. So I got to be able to make enough money to reinvest in myself to make myself more useful or more valuable. That's where valuing myself and my time is the determining factor in terms of the direction I'm going, moving into my future. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to put this stuff out there, as strange as it feels to share this kind of information, but that's the point. I know I'm not the only one. I know there's other people out there who are probably experiencing things very similar to what I'm going through. My hope is this helps you if you're also in a similar situation. It's also going to be cataloging this experience that I'm going through, and as I improve over time, I'm going to be able to refer back or reflect on videos just like these, so I can see and so other people can see this is where I started, and they're going to know 100% that I'm not full of bullshit. Because, hey, in the online world, there is a lot of bullshit. Not everybody's telling the truth. So, as I get better, as I become more valuable, and as I offer more things in the future, I want people to be able to see videos like this that can say, yo, that dude ain't lying. He was going through hell, and then things got slowly or better, little bit by little bit, or even at a fast rate, whatever the case may be. Hey, I'm down with the mystical, so let's go. If miracles can happen, which I believe they can, which is going to probably be things that happen very fast sometimes, right? So if it can happen fast, great, but that's not the point here. The point is I want people to be able to see all of the shit that I went through in order to go from here to there, wherever there might be. I have a vision of there, and that's what I'm aiming for. But I still got to go through what I got to go through to get there. This is just documenting this process that I'm going through in my life. So that's it. That's why I quit my job after 9 months. That's 22 minutes of video, probably too long. I'm going to cut some of this down and make it a little bit shorter and concise for you. So yeah, I'm very consistent at being inconsistent with these videos, but maybe I'll be more consistent as I walk forward. Have a great day.